This short video is to emphasize the importance of how to go about using outside resources as well as the resources in the course, and we'll try to focus on a very narrow entity such as connective tissue and the fibroblast. So first of all, I just want to remind everybody that under outside resources we have virtual slide exploration, and in that link we have a strategy here that we have given for the identification of unknown virtual slides. And if you haven't gone through this, please do. I think this will be helpful. Also, there are a whole series of videos that can be found here, and each of these videos, including almost all of the components of a histology course, and these videos are around 5 minutes, sometimes less, sometimes a little more. I think that these would be very helpful to go through. It wouldn't take you that long. And then the next is this website, which has some of the most some of the best virtual slides that I know about. And if you go to the slide box and let's say connective tissue, and you choose connective tissue, and then let's say types of connective tissue. Here's like, this is dense irregular connective tissue in the skin. And the nice thing about this website is that when you come to the specimen and you're reading about the specimen and you click on the link to the right, dense irregular connective tissue, it takes you right to those examples and gives you a few examples. And here you can see fibroblasts, and you can see the very dense fibers, and you can see they're arranged in different directions. Another example, if we go back to the slide box and say now we're studying, you're going to study cartilage and bone, which that you're studying now. And we go to, let's say, something like hyaline cartilage in the trachea, and you can get an outside viewpoint and review of the perichondrium of cartilage, and there you are right at the edge of cartilage, and you see it's very densely stained cartilage. And then you can click on these various structures here and see the outer fibrous layer of the perichondrium and the inner chondrogenic layer, and it will put it pretty much in the center of the field. So that's the way you can get some outside reviews. Now let's go back to the course and the resources in the course. So in the PDF of the lecture on connective tissue, you're shown the 3 types here, and you're giving some description, and this is introducing you to some of the features of the 3 different types of connective tissue proper. And once you've gone through that, and then you go to WebMic and utilize the WebMic study guide, in which this is the page that talks about and presents the specimens you should be studying in adult connective tissue proper. Then you read this text and see the questions, and then at the end of the unit you will have answers to these questions. And then in WebMic you see the connective tissue, and then you go at the high magnification, see the collagen fiber and the fibroblasts. So it's putting all this together, which then finally leads to applying this information to a virtual slide. Now the last part of this video, I'm going to go to a virtual slide of skin, and I'm going to show it to you in color and black and white side by side, and I'm going to emphasize structure. Okay, the specimen I'm using is this skin, which is in Module 1 lab, and it's one of the specimens you were invited to study, and we had some annotations, and I'm going to show you those annotations here in a moment. So below here are the annotations that you could have taken advantage of and zoomed in on connective tissue, and then on dense connective tissue and adipose tissue and smooth muscle and the covering epithelium, which is stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Now I'm going to remove this specimen below, and now we see these two specimens of skin side by side, and one is in color and the other is in black and white. Now let's use the zoom feature using the Z key. I'm pressing on this and I'm going to enlarge this area right here. And when I enlarge this, then the second image in black and white is going to come up shortly. So here we have dense irregular connective tissue up here that is stained rather pink, with little tiny dots that are bluish or darkly stained, representing the fibroblasts in that dense irregular connective tissue. And you can see the same over here. And down here we have a sweat gland, and it has ducts and secretory parts, and below that we have adipose tissue. So let's zoom in on this area right here and see this at a little higher magnification. Now we can see more detail. We can see the collagen fibers here that are stained pink, and you can also make them out over here. You can see the fibroblast nuclei here and also over here. You can also see these ducts and see the details and the adipose tissue. So on the right, all you have is structure. On the left, you have the color, and it makes it look nice, but it's not absolutely essential. So let's zoom in a little further on the specimen right in this area, and now we see the ducts of the sweat glands. We're not quite at 100%, so I'm going to use my mouse wheel and I'm going to go up to 100%, and I'm going to zoom in on here where we see stratified cuboidal epithelium lining this duct. Well, the color looks real nice, but also you can see the same two layers of cells indicated by the layers of nuclei over here. And then if we move up to the this smooth muscle, which you're studying now in Module 2, and you can see the elongated nuclei of smooth muscle, and over here you see the same thing. And this is blood in here and blood over here. And if we now zoom in on the connective tissue, and I'll zoom a little further, but even at this point, I'm picking this cell right here, this fibroblast, and zoom up to the highest magnification, I can see it has a elongated nucleus, and I see the collagen fibers are very intimately related to it. And so once again, it's not any difficult to recognize a fibroblast by its morphology compared to its color. And you can also do an additional magnification, which, as I have said before, is empty magnification. Now we're down here at 392%, which the scale bar is only equal to 6 microns. You can do this on any exam or quiz. If you go too far, it's going to be really blurry. And we can now return back to the 100% or 50%. So hopefully this will get you thinking about not just memorizing a particular field in WebMic in order to identify something in a virtual slide specimen, but we'll be thinking about shape and size and relationship in future attempts to answer questions.